someone had asked next to, well, the first question they asked was to do it PDF, which I did this time instead of the JPEG. And then the next thing they ask is if you're going to upload, you know, give a few ideas with the video. And I was like, okay, cool. I didn't mind doing that. So if you go to this video, in the description box, you'll see the PDF versions of these sheets downloaded. So let me just start out with this. I think my video cut off. I'm not exactly sure. But anyway, I'll start out with this. It's like a charm that's attached here that I made. And then I just put a birdcage charm here. And then this is part of the page. This is one of the original pages. And then I just put some paper here, glued it, and then tore it off. And then I bagged it onto a Pepsi can in which I embossed. And then I used the Tim Holtz alcohol ink to go over it so it wouldn't be silver. And I didn't ink the edges or anything, but that's what I did. That's the first thing I did with one of the pages. And again, this is one of the original pages that I cut. Okay, so moving right along. Now this, I copied one of the pages onto a napkin and just kind of Mod Podged it onto this little booklet. And I didn't put any pages in this booklet. The page that I did put in here, I just glued it to like the cover. And then that's pretty much it. But there are a number of things that you can do. You can finish adding pages in here, sew them down, make some lines, you know, for a little journal booklet or something, and then put like a label or something on the front, you know. There's a number of ways you can do that. So again, that's a napkin that I copied on, and then I tore the napkin and Mod Podged it onto here. And then before I get to that piece, this piece right here, I took one of the pages and I copied it onto regular copy paper. And then let me see if I can see that stamp set, or did I put it away? So I took this stamp set right here. This is the Woodware stamp set, and I used this one. I stamped it onto the book page, and then I cut it out and made a pocket. So that was another idea. And then I made a photo slide. Use some acetate and use like a leaf die. This is one of the old Martha Stewart's die. Not die. Punch. And I cut out these flowers and kind of cut them out and put them on this tree branch. And then I used a bird stamp for here to I stamped it onto the acetate. That's what I'm trying to say. And then the music paper is just some tissue paper. And then I did like a little collage up here, and then made like another little charm. But I did it on thread. I did it on thread. I don't know if you could see that. And I just closed the back, and I glued it and it kept slipping, so I just kind of did a little stitch there. So that's an idea. And then with this envelope, so these envelopes here are the window envelopes. I took and I opened the envelope up, and I laid it on cardstock, and I glued it down, and then I ran it through the printer. So I didn't, this is not part of the book. I did use the book page inside. This is Paper Studio, one of the 8x10 sheets that I had gotten from Hobby Lobby. I added some stamps up here, and then I just kind of stamped around. I don't know if you could see that. And I did glued the envelope back. I'm gonna get it out here in a minute. And I put some washi tape here where the blue part was. Now for the book page, I just copied the book page onto what is that? That newspaper print paper. And then I just stuck it in the envelope. And that was all I done for that. I didn't like ink around it or anything. I was just trying to come up with like some ideas. I did a little collage here. I don't know if you can see that. That's a flower too, or a leaf. Just kind of collaged around with the same punch. So that was that. And you can use tabs. That was, again, original page. I just cut out a tab for this with, I think, did I use, yeah. I just used this die cut out a tab, and just, you know, put it onto this tag. And then I just did a sticker. I think these are Paper Studio as well. Then, I don't know if you see this bird here. This bird is, even though this is transfer paper for ribbon, I tried something different. I didn't use it for ribbon, so I followed the instructions here, you know, copied it on, well, I put it in the printer, and then I doubled the pages up on the printer screen, and I printed onto this transfer paper. And I'm going to show you in a minute what I used, what I transferred the image on. But I took the transfer paper once I transferred the image, and I cut out a bird, and it has like a rough texture to it. And so I just put him here. And then I did like another little collage here. And I left these strings hanging. I'm not exactly sure even why I made this. Was a tablecloth. I'm not sure why I made it. I think the pieces were kind of getting everywhere, and I just folded it over and just kind of sewed so I can have somewhere to put the pieces. Okay, so let me move on. I don't want to make this video too long. This was just a piece that I didn't want to like throw away. This was the original book page too, and I just kept that. But there are a number of things that you could do. Now, with this piece of muslin, I sewed around it. I tore it, as you can see. I sewed around it, and this bird is this bird. I ironed him on, but the reason why I didn't get a good impression of him, because I didn't want him to like too dark. I didn't want I just wanted it to be kind of faded. Like, I wanted the image there, but I didn't want the image there. Probably not making sense the more I talk. But anyway, I did iron him on, and I didn't keep it on as long. Now, as far as the leaves that you see around, again, I used the die cut, and I probably won't be able, here it is, this die cut here. I die cut from the, let me see if I can find what I had left. Okay, so this is the transfer paper that I copied on. And so, just as I did the bird die, I did the leaf die. And I did it in darker areas like this. And I, ironed it on as the directions call for. So I did do the leaves a little darker than I did the bird. And there are a number of things that you can do with, something like this. I was just pretty much showing how you could, different ways you can just use your pages. Now, with this, I made, I don't even know what you call these, like a little tablet that they make. I took a sheet and I did the same thing as I done with a bird on the muslin. And I ironed it on, but I didn't want the impression very dark. So I just touched it in areas where you see it's dark, and then other areas you don't see it like coming through as well. That's just how I wanted it. And I cut the sheet and I folded over, the different types of paper that you see here. And there's a number of things you can do with this paper. You can ink it. You can make little corner decorations. There's a number of things. But my whole point was to show that the ways that you can use the page. And then I did like a little collage up here. I took some of those leaves from that die cut that I had just shown you. I don't even know what I did with the die cut. It's so small. I'm going to have to keep up with it. I'm going to have to make sure that I put it back because it's really small. I've lost that little particular die cut so many times. But anywho, I cut the flowers out. But again, I did it on to the darker parts of the book page. And then I already had this one from another particular die cut. This is a doily. And then I made some what I call rag roses. I took some muslin and I tore them into little strips and just wrapped them around and kind of made, I don't know if you could see that real good, but I call them rag roses. And then that was it for that. Then with the tea bag, got a piece of copy paper. I got some of those Walmart tea bags. You get the 24 for the $1. I think it's 24. Yeah, it's 24 in there. It's the family size large bags. And here in Dallas, Texas, they're like $1.19 or something like that. They're not very expensive, but these are the tea bags that I used. And I emptied them out and glued them onto the notebook paper and ran it through the printer. And I left that tea bag on there because I just really wanted to show that the top, they're pockets. And I just put this extra tag on here, kind of collaged around the tag, and put some leaves on some thread here. And this was another like die cut that I had, and I think the stem had broken off or something, but I just used it there. And the only reason why I use that there is to make the backing a little thick or a little more sturdy. Not thick, but sturdy. So that's that. It could be a pocket, or you could stick it in something. There's a number of ways you can use it. So that's that. Then again, here's some transfer paper that I used. This is the same transfer paper that I used onto this sheet. I took the transfer paper after it was used. Again, it has like this rough texture once you use it, and I didn't want to throw it away. I just bagged it with some brown wrapping paper and put some washi tape here and sewed around it, put some muslin at the top, and just made a tag. But again, there's a number of things that you can do with the tag, as such, unfinished. And I just made a pocket here. This is a tag that I had made a while back. I just used a stamp that I had, some book pages, and I put this bird here along with this branch. And I had this for a while, but I wanted a place. I wanted it kind of went along with this to put this tag here. And you know, the funny part is I have no idea what I'm going to do with this. I made it and I just wanted this piece again to hold the pieces. So I also already had this, but I could have used the book page on top of this. I already had it. I just put this in here. It had nothing to do with the book, and I stamped that bird there. And then I had a paper clip die cut. I used some graph paper here and just made like a journaling page. And then this is, I already had this envelope as well. This is a Tim Holtz, from the Tim Holtz paper pad. And then I used the die cut to cut out some tissue paper, Mod Podged it on, and then I stamped the edges, as you can see with that stamp. And then on the inside of this envelope, the only thing that I did, nothing particular, but just to show that I printed onto the newspaper print. And again, there's a number of things you can do with this. You could tear it around, you can make like lines, or you could take, I could have took the back of this and got some lined paper or something, and you know, did a double side copy. But my whole point is this is what I done with the page. And so I just stuck it down in the envelope. And I'm sure there are countless of ways that you can use, you know, the book pages. I just showed a few of many. And then here's the other part of that sheet that I had torn off of this. Here's the other part of that sheet. And I just made a booklet. And I took this is the original book page. I cut the label out. And then I just added the 2 sheets. I don't remember where I got this paper. Matter of fact, I think it's just art craft paper, like the kids' vanilla paper. That manila, or whatever they call that. Kids' craft paper. And then I had a piece of, I don't know where this came from either, but it's like a see-through vellum. And I just sewed it down the center and made a little booklet. Again, I got some of the transfer and ironed it on. And that's pretty much it. And again, I have no idea what I'm going to do with any of this. But someone was just asking, you know, if you're going to upload the book pages, just give some ideas of what you could do. See, even when I close this, that's how quick I sewed it. It's not closing like in the sections, which is okay. That's not what I made it for. But you guys have an awesome day, and I appreciate you for, here's my die right here. I appreciate you guys for stopping by.